All right. All right. Now, God works the way God works. Spirit works the way Spirit works. It's Sunday. I was minding my own business. Just got up. And I got stuff to do. I worked and worked and worked. I was up early last night. But before I get into what God's showing me, and I haven't figured it out yet, but it led to this guy. I'm not saying it's solely about him, but whatever God's showing me, it led to this guy that Donald Trump personally pardoned. The Obama administration had found this man guilty. As soon as Trump got in office, Trump looked into this guy, personally called him on the phone as the president of the United States, and actually said to this guy, I've been looking at your situation. I know you. He said, man to man, you've been screwed. And Trump pardoned the guy. So I will have that news story in this video somewhere. You'll see it if you hang on. But I'm saying this is just new to me. New to me. But I wanted to get that out. But it's some strange stuff going on, how this came about. I knew nothing about this man, never heard of him before in my life. I will tell you how the Lord led me here. Like I said, to me, I just woke up. So to me, relatively, from my perspective, it's early Sunday. Now, it might not be early. It's just when I woke up, but my mind is still like, what the heck is this all about? But it doesn't stop there. And I was just telling you guys about Sam. If you're following the Bible studies on this channel, I was showing you the Bible name Sam, and I said the son of Sam. Well, at the same time this is going on it's a beach called Samson, which is still strange to me about Vietnam. All this I'm just learning right now, and that's why I said I don't even know. But a whole lot of stuff is coming up that I can't even talk about yet, because I'm trying to find out this connection to a certain person I was also recently talking about. And I'll tell you why it didn't. But right now I'm gonna have to pause this. By the time this video is done, everything will be pulled together. But this is weird. It's weird. I want to talk about so much more, but I can't until I can find out if there's a connection between what I was also shown this morning as soon as I stepped outside. Okay, let me just tell you what I was shown, which is not going to make no sense to you. But I was recently talking about this preacher on the televangelist channel, how I didn't like how he stood in front of the congregation talking crazy, and he reminded me of early not Billy Graham, early Jimmy Swagger back in the day. You're standing in front of the people, but you're actually glorifying yourself. And if you know, that was back in the 70s, but now Mr. Swagger has rewrote the Bible. He has his own Bible that him and his people are following. He rewrote the Bible in his image. So that's what I mean. When you stand in front of the congregation of God with no humility, and they're actually serving you, following you, worshiping you, not the Messiah. So when I walked outside this morning just to get the paper, and I'm trying to get back in because I have if you listen to people like I told you to listen to, like Veronica, she tells you the same thing I do, or listen to Nonania, because you actually have people around you that have spirits of devils in them. And ironically, these people also have their own Bible written by what they call as a religious organization. Their religion says we're not a church, we're a religious organization, and they also rewrote their own Bible. Now, I never knew why these people don't have blinds and stuff like that, curtains or anything, but they're there to watch me, because these people have gone out their way to lie on me, start trouble, and all kind of crazy shit. So when I go outside, I usually go outside real fast, get the newspaper, whatever, and try to get back inside, because I don't want to deal with these damn devils. They doubt the Messiah. All this, they say crazy stuff about the Messiah. They doubt the deity of the Messiah. But these people have been a thorn in my side for many, many years. And I've seen all kind of stuff go down in front of their house. 2 people were murdered in front of their house. They never came outside, never turned the light on or anything. Anything with me, Anything. The littlest thing, lights on, they're bugging out, they're outside. I come outside to work in my backyard, they come outside. All kind of crazy shit. Park their car so close to my property line. All kind of crazy shit. But anyway, so I'm trying to tell you this because this is the reason why I try to jump outside, do what I gotta do, and jump back inside. I don't want to see them. I don't like them particularly. And I've known these people all my life. One of them, I was there in the neighborhood because we live right next to each other when a person was born. And the woman's husband used to talk shit about her, but I never know why. Now I know why. Anyway, so I'm outside minding my own business, and now there's a church right in this area. It's actually two of them, but for some reason, that church has been in some type of renovation. It's just sitting there. Now I gave $1,000 to that church. Not to say, yeah, I'm not saying this to brag about me, but that church has been dormant. But that preacher in that church, because I used to actually go to that church in around 2011, because that's when I got baptized in the Holy Spirit. I was running all over, trying to get answers and running to find the Lord, because a lot of supernatural stuff was happening. I eventually ended up at Deliverance Temple in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Bless the memory of Pastor Pelzer, who has the same first name as my twin flame, Rosa. Had nothing but love for Pastor Pelzer. I was always giving her money, but she did a lot for me. She took in people that no other churches would take in. And then the person who eventually she gave the authority of that temple over, because she didn't call it a church. I knew him from 2000. We used to all hang out. I used to be with people I called the coalition because it had all kind of colors in it, male and female. We were all telemarketers, and we used to always end up on his house. He had a house right there on Sewell Avenue. I don't know if it's still there or not. Now he'll tell you the pastor of that church, he became homeless, and he went through hell. He said he was in a jail cell being bit by rats and stuff, and he would show you those rat bites. That was the last time I ever been in Deliverance Temple. And Pastor Pelzer was still alive. She was there, and he was there, I believe. But he was now the pastor. And the same people that gave me a hard way to go when I used to be a teacher at that church, I was a deacon, a minister or whatever. The same people that gave me a hard way to go gave him a hard way to go. And when Pastor Pelzer anointed him as pastor over that church, all those people left. So this is why I say what I say. I know the evil in humans. The same thing Veronica says. I know the evil in humans, and they don't have no love for the Bible, and they don't have no love for the Messiah, because I know how hard those people gave me, and all I was trying to do was teach the Word of God. Some of those people, they were high on drugs, because this is in the hood. And it's all right to be struggling with something, but be humble about it. But they was in the hood. Like there was real gangsters in there. People that had been convicted of murder were in there. One guy was a master in the martial arts, and I used to be right in there with him. But I was always in the hood. I was always in Asbury Park, New Jersey, when I was little. I had very minimum problems. I thank God for that. But I was always in the hood. But I'm a suburban dude. But I just ain't, like I said, I ain't scared of nobody. But that's all the power of God. So, you will be seeing these pictures, but it might be later on. I'm probably going to put something up here that says breaking or something like that. Because I'm not going to show these pictures because I don't know what the hell's going on. So anyway, I'm standing outside. Again, I'm just trying to rush out there, get the newspaper, rush back in the house. They got the car parked right at the property line, trying to start trouble. Is what they do. And then, so that's the second church. So anyway, so that pastor at the other church that is dormant, sitting there, because I'm not like, where did they go with my money, you know? But they did start renovating the church, and then they just stopped, and they never come to that church no more. Because I know when I used to go to that church, they go to another church, so they're probably going there for worship and everything. But you will wonder why the pastor is not rushing to get back to his own church. So when I first started going to that church, that pastor called me and doing the service, and prayed over me. And used to go in there too to get holy oil and stuff. Like he put holy oil on you. I've seen that pastor do some supernatural shit too. At this church I'm talking about, right up the street from my house. The one that's being renovated. But he called me one time. Because whenever I walked in the church, they always immediately run to me and start praying over me. I can see the Spirit of God on you. I can see the Spirit of God on you. And one church I went to one time, because I used to go to a whole lot of like church hopping and stuff. And one time at the end of the service, the deacon asked me to pray. Even though it was members from his church there, he asked me to pray. But every time I go to church, they pray over me. The one church where that pastor got in trouble with having some type of freaky sexual with his wife and the personal assistant of his wife and the boyfriend. One time I went to that church, he ran up to me immediately and started praying over me. So I can see the Spirit of God on you. They always say that. So that's what this pastor did at this church. But then he got mad at me because I was going back and forth between that church and Deliverance Temple. So he's like, well, you stay in one church. But then I thought he was a hypocrite because he was going to different churches. Like his church is dormant. You know what I'm saying? He don't even go to his own church. He's always at that other church. So when he prophesied over me, this was the early days. It was because I told you a whole lot of supernatural stuff was happening. And he told me, he said, he prophesied during the church service. He said, I used to just sit over to the right side of the church up front. And he said, you over there. He came over. He said, you. He said, the Lord is going to take you through some trials and stuff like that. He said, but you got to be strong. He said, don't be afraid. You got to be strong. That's all he said. And that was true. And then he was just mad at me because I was always going between that church and Deliverance Temple in Asbury Park. He didn't like that. But I wasn't giving up Deliverance Temple. Like I call those people family. That's why it hurt so much. Once again, betrayed. But I was there to see the whole thing. You got to say, I try to tell you guys, even out here on YouTube, the lack of support. I stand when all the enemies fall. It's always been that way. Because again, you could be on a channel, but you're not obeying the Bible. So what do you think is going to happen to you? But these people are so stupid, they wait until it's too late. Like I stand over coffins. No coffin stood over me yet. And that church is now dormant. And I go back to the days when that church used to be one of the most active churches here. All day long on a Sunday and throughout the week. They would just have live bands and they were very, very active. And that's another hood church. I remember one time somebody died and all those people that used to go to that church came back for that person. All you saw were thugs and gangsters and shit. And I'm just there studying because I'm trying to find the Lord. Like I told you, I don't give a fuck about this earthly shit. I'm not here for that foolishness. I'm here for God. So now, minding my own business, trying to get this newspaper and get back in the house. So I noticed a car with somebody in it. But remember, it's a church service going on, so cars park all along. It just depends on how many people come. But I think it's somebody going to the church service. But I seen his pants. And I didn't know who it was, but I knew it was pants. Really looked like his pants. Maybe sweatpants, I don't know yet. I'm waiting till the person gets out. So the dude that gets out looks exactly like that preacher from the televangelist station that I was just talking about. Looks exactly like him. Because that dude don't wear no suit. He always with tight ass jeans on and shit. You know, and he's not, you know, he's what we would call, he's from a different country. But this dude looks just like him. Now, while this is going on, this loud ass helicopter comes flying over. So I noticed this guy, and he's not going to the church though. He just pulled up and got out the car just to spray his spoke wheels, and he's doing his wheels. So I'm saying to myself, dude, why didn't you do that in front of your house? Why would you pull up in this neighborhood just to stop your car and do your spoke wheels. But I know that's a message from God, because there's a church right there. So just to me, I felt like God was saying what you said about that preacher. He don't care nothing about no church. This dude is into materialism. And you can just see how the way this dude acts. But it looks just like him. But I leave it alone. I come inside and I see some more things, and I ignore it because I don't want to be bothered with this. I had other plans for the day. I didn't want to be out here with this. But a whole can of worms opened up. Because I got to find out more about this Samson Island. Now, recently I was on a prayer website, and I saw somebody. So I sent them a message. I said, hey, where are you from? Just to see if she responded. So she responded. She said, I'm from Vietnam. I said, okay, I'm from Jersey. How you doing, Pete? I said, I prayed for you, because she requested prayer. But I wanted to know where she was from, because I had just had an experience with somebody. It wasn't from Vietnam. It was from somewhere else in Asia with a female. But unfortunately, this particular female, she approached everything wrong from a selfish viewpoint. But I can't be mad at these people, because some of these people are in a very, they don't make a lot of money. So it's just easy for them to, and again, I'm not talking about Vietnam. This is somewhere else in Asia. But in 1995, I had a lot of friends in this particular country. So, unfortunately, that female, whatever happened to her, she lied to God constantly. And when you do that, you have to be careful, because you could pay for that. Now, me, I mind my business. That's why I don't even hardly talk about it. But I did feature her real quick. I was trying to help her as well. But she definitely went about it the wrong way. And when people do that, I just mind my business, because I'm sure people lie to God every day. So that's between him and them. So the other female, I was like, where are you from? And then she wrote me back, I'm from Vietnam. And I said, okay, how you doing? I told her where I was from, told her my name. I'm praying for you, because she requested prayer. And now this is a Vietnam. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Because this guy that got pardoned by Donald Trump, because he was going after a lot. I don't know. This is my first time. I don't know. But his name is connected to somebody, another female that's the same ethnicity as this person that Donald Trump pardoned. And she became famous at the same age of this female who was murdered on Samson Island. And one of the men accused just got convicted. Now, y'all have to understand, I always have. Oh, and that helicopter that went by, then it was another one. But I couldn't go back outside, because like I said, my neighbors watch every fucking thing I do. And I don't want no beef, because y'all understand, I don't play games. I don't want no beef. So I don't need nobody watching how many times I come outside, or where he went to the garbage can, or come outside, he's outside, you come outside. Because I'll be done said something. Because this has been going on for now, you get close to 10 years of these motherfucking crazy ass people. And I'm not that dude. Like, I don't play games. So that's why I said I don't want no beef, so I didn't step back outside. But I heard a second helicopter, which was weird. And this is all at the same time, so I know it's divine timing. This is how I know God wants me to look into this. So, I'm going to be fair. If I can't link that televangelist up to any of this stuff, I'm not going to say nothing else yet. But to me, it sounded like God was saying, this guy don't care nothing about the church. He's very materialistic. Because that's what you see this guy do. You're going to stop your car in front of a church, jump out, and with your spray bottle, and start spraying hubcaps. You could have did that in your yard. Like I said, what the hell? And that's why I keep trying to tell y'all, These people don't care nothing about God. You can look at the person and tell he's arrogant. I seen that all the time. Just the way he stands, the way he preaches. Sometimes he stands in front of the congregation. He don't even have the word of God. He just be out there talking. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to the Bible? Or are you listening to this man? He's like a hood version of Jimmy Swagger. Because that's what Jimmy used to do. But at least Jimmy used to hold a Bible, but he used to shake it up. I would say, hey, stop, because I saw the repeats of Jimmy Swagger. Hey, stop shaking that Bible up, Mr. Swagger. Talking all crazy. And then you getting by with all this laundering money and immorality and all this other stuff. So it's a whole lot of stuff about him on the Bible online. I'm not even going to mention it. But last time I checked him out on his channel that he's on now, he done rewrote the Bible. Got his own Bible. He done rewrote the Bible in his image. So those type of people, I ain't with it. And that's why God showed me him spraying his little hubcaps, his little spoke wheels and all that foolishness. Alright. So, like I said, that's all I'm going to say. If I can't link this gentleman up to whatever God's showing me, that's all I'm going to say. But just give me a moment because I'm just looking through some stuff now. Because after Paul, especially after Paul Crouch died. Now, do y'all know who Paul Crouch is? The owner of TBN. After he died, his wife kicked off a lot of them people. Aquila Nash, just to name some. But a lot of Paul's friends, Jan got rid of. Because they had already come up with the idea. They wanted more income, they wanted more money, and they were going to make TBN more newer. So now when you turn on TBN, you see a lot of like people. Now me, I don't call you out. Like I said, I mind my business. Unless God talks to me. Unless God shows me somebody like he did just now, then I speak on it. But I told you, I'm not going to say nothing else if I can't link this guy up to whatever God's showing me. But y'all got to understand, I got a 15-year-old girl that was murdered on Samson Island. And y'all got to remember, another person out who was sent to me deliberately was Philippa. And I just told you, I got a lot of friends in a certain country. Still coming from Philippa, but it's a different name. But it's still that whole Philip thing. Philippa Schuyler. She also died in Vietnam. Now you got another 15-year-old killed on Samson Island, and one of the men was convicted. And it must have been today or yesterday or sometime on Friday because it said 4 hours ago. See? And they're getting here already. Now where I'm at right now, this gentleman's ethnicity, is right here. Now I don't see him yet. Right under Christian pastors. And that one guy who Donald Trump pardoned is right here. Now you might not see these pictures to the end. Now I'm doing that for a reason because I know how the devil works. Now this person is going off. Now this website I'm on, I don't know if it's pro or con. I really don't know. But he's got a lot of information and a lot of pictures. And the one guy that Donald Trump pardoned is right there. So I'm trying to tell y'all that God has confirmed this guy that I was talking about. Because the guy that Donald Trump pardoned is right there, and above him is the guy's same ethnic background about these leaders. And a lot of these leaders you see have ministries on that television program that I'm talking about. So and he's also talking about and remember, and he's also talking about the same station that I was talking about. See, because this guy I'm talking about, he's kind of new, but he's blown up. Now he has a picture of Newton or somebody. That's probably Isaac Newton. But remember, in the 1800s, all these people came over with a new belief, new Bible doctrines, and this gentleman looks a lot like Charles Taze Russell. He was a part of that. They all wore their hair the same way and all that. And I believe they also came over from Europe. So this person's going on and on and on and on and on. So I would accept this as confirmation. And everything I was just talking about was shown here. So this guy that made this website, it's a whole lot, because you get these people, they're obsessed with what they believe, and that's not good either. It says click pictures for stories, but I click the picture, nothing comes up. Because I don't know if he's pro or con for this guy. And I tried to click the picture, it's not opening. And it keeps saying it. This person's ethnicity keeps coming up. Alright. So this particular website is pro. In other words, it's for these people. Alright. So I'm sure more will come out, because it seems like God is going out of his way to show me this stuff. And I don't watch that station no more, so I don't know. This guy might even be on that station. I don't know. I have no idea. All right. So the gentleman was mentioned by his ethnicity and his location, the station he's on. And I was hoping to get his name. It would take a long time. I know how I could do it though. Let me see. They say televangelist accused of defrauding $50 million for this station. Then it's a YouTube video that says these people are false ministers. There's another thing that says 10 evangelist preachers who fell from grace. That's one guy. I listen to him all the time. His old music was good. You could tell his music was anointed though. I listen to the dude all the time. I play his playlist all the time. Certain pastor. All right. Like I said, the dude is always up there, tight ass jeans on, dressed like he's ready to go out, not dressed like he's ready to honor the Most High God. There he goes. So I just want his name. I'm not necessarily gonna say his name though. They said he signed a 6 year. I wonder how long ago. But he's down with the other dude. I didn't know that. Cause like I said, I don't watch none of that stuff no more. But he's down with the other dude. Is real famous. That's the dude that wouldn't open up the church during the thing. It was a terrible weather situation. I'm trying to watch the words I use because I'm not trying to identify these people yet. I won't identify them unless God identifies them. In all fairness, but God has just let me know. But I am going to list his name. He signed a 6 year, $110 million contract to do what? Now it's taking forever, but at least I got his name. But now what I'm going to take his name and put it in with that other person's name. Because there's a reason why God does what God does. So I'm going to see if these two guys know each other. You can just look in his eyes, man. Yeah, he's a songwriter too. best-selling author. And it's funny, the name of his church, because like that helicopter, they use the same word. They use the exact same word. He's 39 years old, South Carolina. They said too bad Robin Leach is so old. He would have had a field day profiling this preacher. Lifestyle of the rich and famous. And they say, why is this guy acting like a cult leader? Same thing I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You can tell this dude. He's got that same Jimmy Swagger complex. But that's who they follow though. Just like Jesus said, you won't follow me, but you'll follow somebody else. So again, what I'm trying to see is if this guy is connected to this other guy in any type of way. But you can look at this dude and tell he's out there. You can look right at his eyes. This dude is out there. It looks insane. He looks like he you got it. I wish I could tell you who this dude was. I can't though. You could just look at his eyes and tell this dude is nuts. I mean, like really, I could take a picture of Hitler when Hitler was in his prime and put it next to this dude. It's the same fucking look. But this is who they follow and shit. That's why I can't do this shit no more, y'all. Y'all not hearing me. I cannot do this stupid punk ass shit no more. It's like you on a planet with motherfuckers and some fuckboy shit and they almost self-destructive shit. And they go. They go. And if anybody try to help them, whether it be Jesus or Malcolm or Tupac, the motherfuckers end up dead. And the reason why I said it the way I said it, because they don't give no fuck for them. That's why I said they don't give a fuck about these people. That's why everybody come to try to help them and end up dead. Then you get the dummies that try to take shit I say out of context. Oh, he said that he got it. Like, fuck you. Die quick. Burn forever. Bitch. No, that dude's crazy. He definitely, I'm sure he has murdered people. And see, that's what I'm trying to show y'all. They associated this guy with young girls being raped. And a lot of that's coming out. That's why I said y'all should listen more to Mark Taylor, because he's telling you about these televangelists that are raping all these kids and stuff. And they're all connected. And Veronica talks about it too. But they definitely put him on the list. But like I said, I didn't say his name because God didn't give me the okay. But God just wanted me to know. So I got one more thing I got to do. Because they said this other guy they showed me is something he's exposing stuff. And this is my first time ever seeing him. So I'm just trying to see what is he exposing. All right. So the same guy that locked up that dude that just got busted for pedophilia, the same judge that locked him up also locked up this guy that Donald Trump pardoned. Okay, he does go after pedophilia though. But it's funny. It's funny if he goes after them, but he got convicted by the same judge that convicted the other dude. This is crazy. But this is why we trying to tell you what you watching could be some bullshit, my nigga. Like I'm telling you, these people lie about everything. Everything. Mark Taylor said that that dude that just got convicted of, or well, just got arrested for pedophilia, he was in the same prison. He was only like 3 doors away from El Chapo. So Mark Taylor's a why he said, why ain't they talking about that? He said, why ain't they talking about that? Obviously, it's some type of networking going on. All right, so there's a tweet he made. I'm going there now. So he made that in 2017, though. Ooh, and guess what? The tweet underneath his is Rose. You understand? And this is like I said, this is how this shit works. This is how these transmissions come. And anybody knows October 15th is a big day, but this was made on October 14th. Even that's a message. And even at 7:20. Also, look at that 411. 411, October 14th, 411. So that's interesting. So they said it should be a death sentence. So he tweeted this. All right. I'm almost done, bro. Now I'm gonna show one where it says Danielle, cause like I told you, this is how. So his wife's name must be Danielle or his daughter. I don't know who she is, but she's Danielle. But I gotta tell y'all something. So where I work at, one of the females that I'm cool with is named Danielle. But we had a guy that worked there, which I haven't talked about. But the guy did get arrested for that type of behavior. But he, so this is how God talks to you. He's showing you things, names, like, of course I know Rose or Rosa, Danielle I work with. Just last night, listen, this is going to blow your fucking mind. Last night, I was in a 24-hour department store, right? And I was trying to get some help or whatever, but it was early in the morning. So a female walked by, and she had, because like she has like, there's a different type of red hair females use now. It's like a red dye they put in their hair. And that female had that. And I asked her, I was like, do you work here? She like, nah. And then I said, oh. Then she started like laughing. But her colors that she had on is the same colors of our uniforms. That where we work at. Like where me and Danielle work, it's the same color. And Danielle don't just work where I work. She works at another retail store. And I think they wear like the same color we wear. That's why when I saw that CVS versus Walgreens, that shit was funny because they almost had on the same colors and shit. It was just hilariously funny. So once again, you see that name Danielle because they're confirming. But that's God's way of telling me that preacher's he's down with that shit. But you can look at his eyes and tell he demonized. Like I try to mind my business. You know what I'm saying? So I just mind my business. But you can tell that dude's wicked. You can just look at his eyes. I don't see no soul. So Lord, it is my prayer you bring him down. It is my prayer you bring him down, expose him, and bring him down. And these things I ask in the name of Yahshua Mashiach. Amen. So I'm assuming that Danielle is this dude's daughter. I'm assuming. And I'll try to find that out real quick. One is a Brazilian model, but that's not who we look at. It's the same name though, but that's not who we're looking for. At least I don't think so. Cause somehow, if it is, they're related. Cause it might be. So I keep telling you, all the young saints always come to me. All the young female, the saints, they always come to me. And a lot of these females, they were killed at like a teenage years. Cause you gotta remember, Mother Mary had Jesus as a teenager. See, when you're really tapped in to that realm, this is what you see. And that's how you know if somebody's really tapped in. But what happens is the evil flips it. You know what I'm saying? They flip it to something else. But if you're really tapped in, you're gonna be tapped in. Just like I tried to tell you, there's a woman in Damascus, and I think they call her Mary of Damascus, and she has all the supernatural stuff that happens to her. It does include suffering, but when she's suffering, all this oil comes out of her body, and anybody that touches that oil, they get prosperity, they get healing, all kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm trying to tell you that's the mystical side that does exist. And you can be scared of it all you want, but it still exists. And that woman has gone all over the world helping people and healing people and stuff like that. And she knows stuff that happened at the cross that nobody else knows. Because y'all think, they try to make you think Jesus wasn't beat down. They try to make you think he was just smacked around and thrown on the cross. No, they beat him to death. The Bible said that he would be unrecognizable. They beat him so bad that if you looked at his face, you couldn't even recognize who he was or what he was. So I think that is his daughter. But she's also a model. And she's from Brazil, excuse me. And she's probably more than that. But you can look at her eyes and tell that she ain't backing down. Like me personally, I see the spirit of Mother Mary on her. Now I'm not Catholic, but I see the spirit of Mother Mary on her. See, it really is a battle against good and evil. And once again, Lord, I ask you to expose that pastor and bring him down. Bring him down. Anybody like him, bring him down, Lord. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. So that's why God showed me that helicopter. Because the name of his church is the same. They use the same word for helicopters. And God showed me that man could care less. Because the church was right there. He gonna pull up his vehicle basically in front of the church and jump out and spray his fucking spoke wheels. And when I looked at this guy's eyes, I looked in his eyes, I could tell he's a conceited bastard. But I think he's a rapist, I think he's a murderer, and I think he's been sending a lot of children to their grave. And I ask you to expose him and bring him out for the wicked man that he is. And again, I didn't say his name. Now, this other gentleman you see was pardoned by Donald Trump because he's on the other side. He's against that, by what we can tell. So make sure anybody's saying anything, that if you're going to say anything, you say it correctly. If you don't know what you're talking about, please shut the F up, because you can get a curse for that. Quickly. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. And again, you got to understand, this information was just given to me. I knew none of these people before God showed this to me. But it does check out. It was one female in Michigan. Now she's Asian too. She was a whatever Miss I don't know, Miss Beauty, Miss America, I don't know, of Asia, and she made some conservative remarks, but they were a little too, and so they stripped her of her crown. I didn't notice, but they strip you of your crown quick. Like if you get one of those crowns, Miss Beauty or whatever, Miss whatever, if anything comes out about you, that crown is coming off your head. I said, oh man, I didn't know they stripped the crown like that. But she said she gonna fight though. That Asian was not backing down. So the beach is called Samsan, but you gotta understand, I already told you about if you gotta listen to the channel because I'm not gonna repeat it. But that name is very mystical. I will repeat this part though. Samsan is also the son of Sam. Back in New York, he was killing everybody, especially like Caucasians, and primarily, I'm not sure if he was targeting them, but I know he did kill a lot of younger females. Now, they were going to put him to death because he wasn't talking in church. I mean, he wasn't talking in court. Very quiet male. So the judge was about to sentence him to execution, to kill him. The day they were going to sentence him to death, he was in a straitjacket. He would just sit there. He would never say anything the whole time. The day they were going to sentence him, he broke out in a rage. He was talking crazy, and about the female, he was saying she wasn't nothing but a slut, and all this. He was saying some horrible stuff, but he broke out that straitjacket, and he was going crazy, and it took many officers to subdue him. And because of that, they changed the verdict, and they sentenced him to life in prison. But he could still come out for parole, though, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to come out. So now, while he was in prison all those years, he's a preacher now. He wears the cloth, like the white, the black. But now, let me tell you about him. A long time ago, I told you I got a temp job. I worked at a local library right here in this county that I live in. Got a temp job there. Now that was a very mystical experience, and I'm going to use, it was a very eighth house experience. Now I have a dead relative that is always talking. Even recently, I talked about another experience I had with that relative. So it was a female that worked there. We're all from the same township, but she knew this person. They were friends. Now, this female used to work for Spike Lee. Worked in the city. Her brother was a famous DJ at the radio station years ago. Like, he played the music during the lunchtime. I used to be in a band. Her brother and me were the same age. And they actually used to be in a band together real quick. But we weren't friends. It was just business. It was just a band. We weren't friends. In fact, the great late Mike B would say to me later on, like 14 years later, Mike B would say to me, "Yeah, you a punk. You was always a punk in school. That's why I never talked to you in school." He said, "You waited till your senior year to try to get tough." He said, "I remember you getting up in so-and-so's face." That's what Mike B said to my face. And he's kind of right. He's kind of right, but he doesn't know the people I was hanging out with. He doesn't know all that. And the reason why I was getting up in the dude's face, because the dude was real pushy, and he had disrespected my drummer. And my drummer was younger than us. Like, the drummer was only like, if we was like, teenagers, the drummer was only like 15. And I knew the drummer since he was 12. So I wasn't going to let you talk about my little brother. That wasn't happening. So that's why I got up in the dude's face. Like, Leos are very protective. Like a Leo, you could talk shit to him, he won't make a move. But when you talk to his family, then you're going to see the lion. So that's what that happened. But might be, from his perspective, he was right. But he didn't understand who I was hanging out with from, when we were young. I was hanging out with, I won't say a lot, but very violent individuals. So the dude he knew, say 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade, wasn't the same dude by the 12th grade. The dude by the 12th grade wasn't scared of nobody, ready to get it on. So, and Mike learned that. Like, after Mike hung out with me 14 years later, that's when he started hanging out with me. After Mike hung out with me, he knew wasn't nobody scared over here. Alright. So now, getting back to so she had met an African prince through her connection with Spike Lee. And she had married this gentleman and moved to Africa. But at that point, she began to miss being a Christian. She tried the African and it was Islamic way, and she didn't want it. She was like Nature Boy. Now she wants to run back to Babylon. Because it's good to talk shit about this country until you really see how it goes in other places. So this is a true story. So somehow she came up with a way to escape Africa, because they already told her you ain't going back to Christianity and we'll kill you. So she came up with some type of way to escape Africa. And I keep telling you all about planes and that helicopter that was flying over. So somehow I think she was able to escape with her children. I don't know how the hell she did it. But somehow she got out of Africa and was back in America. So this is how the real world works. That's why I said I could never sell out the truth for this pampered down bullshit. So now, in prison, now I forget how it went down. I'm going to tell you how I think I remember it. But one of her friends was a Christian and would go into the prisons and preach to the inmates for Bible study. And David Berkowitz, son of Sam, would be there. But he never talked. He would be there in his priest outfit, and he would just observe. He would never talk. Because remember, David Berkowitz lived in the hood in New York. This is a Jewish guy that lived in the hood with black people. But he was poor. Now, I don't know if you know how he got possessed and what led. Y'all could look that up. I'm not going into that. But everybody he killed was non-melanated, non-black. Y'all got to remember that, because that's important to what I'm about to tell y'all. That's why I said you have to listen. Instead of hearing a name and going, "Oh, I don't want to hear that out of there." Stupid shit. This is very important. Because what happens when God throws you in the valley of the shadow of death? You won't make it. Why? Because immediately you become afraid. He said, but this is what David said. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. So you can't be all caught up in your emotions. I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. See, wherever I'm at, I know how to pray. I know how to cry out. I know how to take my concerns to God. Even David said, sometimes you got to take your complaints to God. Take your needs to God. Take your frustrations to God. Ask God to help you. Take your mistakes to God. Ask God to forgive you and help you, make you renew. The same prayer David said in Psalms 51. Renew my heart. So now, in this prison Bible study with David Berkowitz in his priestly attire, but never talking, but there all the time. He's at every study, but never talks. He just observes. So this female, who's a friend of my relative, and me and her brother were friends in the same band, same township. I guess her friend is presiding over the Bible study in the prison. When they talk about her situation, how she escaped Africa to come back here to become a Christian again. She got married to an African prince. She thought it was going to be sweet, but she got over there and didn't like it. So she had to escape. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why that plane was flying over with this guy. Because this guy is the same demonic spirit. Occult spirit. Not occult, but a cult spirit. And this guy is a weirdo. You can look in his eyes and tell that man ain't got no soul. But yeah, he's on a televangelist station because they're making all that money. See, I don't say who's good. I don't say who's bad. I don't know. It's not my place. I don't know what type of oaths they took. And you got pictures of these men making that Baphomet sign and stuff like that. But I do know once Paul Crouch died, they immediately kicked off a lot of his friends, literally kicked them off the station. And they immediately gave you this new people, whatever it takes to make a lot of money. Which they was making a lot of money anyway. And I'm not taking up for nobody. I'm just giving you all facts that y'all can look up. One of Paul's closest friends, when the powers that be said, turn over all your money, we want to see all your reports. Paul Crouch's friend of many, many years was the only one that did it. Now, I'm not saying that makes him a good man or a bad man, but I am saying for whatever reason he turned over those records. Now, y'all might say, well, this is all Freemasonry. That's why he turned them over, because he knew he had nothing to worry about. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you. Because everybody else associated with their televangelists did not turn over shit. And I'm not saying they had to. It's none of my business. Now, in this prison Bible study, when a person got done explaining what happened when this woman going to Africa, getting married, and then escaping Africa and all that, at the end, David Berkowitz stood up and said, I want to pray for her. And he prayed. Now keep in mind, this is a guy that lived in the hood. And all the people he killed were non-melanated. Everything I just told y'all is true. Told to me directly from a woman that escaped Africa. And her family line and my family line, like her brother and my sister were close. Like real close. Now I wasn't that close with her brother, but I knew him. Like I said, we was in a band together. I was over her house. We used to play the band over there. So you could take it any way you want to, but out here, I always tell you what the scriptures say. And there's a reason for everything that happens. Even the neighbors I don't like, they're there for a reason. What that reason is, I have no idea. But God knows. That's why I say you must learn to listen. And even if you don't learn to listen, it is my calling to speak what I have been told to speak. Now, how it goes and whatever, I have nothing to do with that. Because like I said, no matter where you put me, I'm serving God. And all this other shit don't matter to me. Not at all. Not even a teeny little bit. Because this is why the planet has become what it is. Because people don't give a fuck about God. Everything they want comes first. And then they act like they serve the Most High when they don't. Alright, so now the final thing I have to do, because like I said, on this island, and recently it was flooded by 1,000 people. This is in Yahoo News. Remember, 1,000 is a key word with God. But this island was flooded by all these people. Today, I think it was, or yesterday, what it was. So they say they're mad because the beach water is now dirty. But they said even though it's not as beautiful as it used to be, this beach in Vietnam, Samson, but they say it was still a great day because that's in the news. But this is what God showed me right after he showed me the helicopter. Remember, Phyllis Schuyler died in a helicopter. You need to look this up. In Vietnam. Now Scarlett Killing was murdered. And the man that killed her was Samson De Sousa. Now De Sousa is the name of the person who Donald Trump pardoned. All right. Now I have to find out one more thing. And again, you'll see all these pictures at the end of this video. So she was young and she was partying, but unfortunately that led to her being everything. Anything you can do to a female before you kill her. So she was young, but she is wild. But most young people are wild. So she came up because of the man's name. But this event took place in India. with this female, but she was from Britain, and she was partying, I guess, with this guy with that name. But the point being made, the point that God's being made is that even though he got away with it, he got acquitted, but then they reconvicted him. This is all about pedophilia at the end of the day. And then he's letting me know that that preacher is just as guilty. And this is why that other guy with the same last name, De Sosa, was in jail. He got convicted by the same judge that locked up the other guy, Einstein. See, I told you, everything, once you learn how this works, every number is put in place, every name is put in place. I told y'all that a long time ago. So in other words, that guy will be exposed for what he really is. Whenever you come before the presence of the Lord, you have to have some measure of humility. And when you see them, like I saw it in Swaggart when I used to watch the repeats. I used to watch the repeats like in 2011. The repeats of Swagger from his ministries in 1970s. He just was too arrogant. Now the people loved it because he was yelling and shouting, and they actually thought he was talking about somebody, but he wasn't. He was just jerking them, ripping them off for their money. Same thing he's doing now. But these are foolish people. That's what they want. And now the guy that wrote this, his name is Sam too. Samuel Osborne. Now anybody that knows Osborne is what? Spider-Man. And you know what? I just had a dream. It was a military dream. And Spider-Man was in it. And it's kind of funny because it makes me think of New York City. Now, helicopters are big. Because that's what MASH was about. The TV show MASH was about Vietnam. And it started off with the helicopter. And some people were trying to say that Asians had something to do with the blackout. Not all Asians. That's not what I'm saying. And I didn't say it. I think Jennifer Sinclair or something, she might have said it. I'm not saying I believe that, but it's interesting how all this is coming out. So I'm not going to put these pictures in order. All right, so I just want to know when she was. All right, so she was killed in 2008. And there was actually two men. It might have been more men that did it with her. But they actually charged two men. They acquitted one man. Well, they acquitted both of them. But now they found one man guilty. And I'm not going to show her a picture. I mean, believe me, that's a hard price to pay. But this is the life. Like, you just can't do what you want. And right now, you can see the universe is definitely going after people that go after these young girls and stuff. In that case, even in her own diary, she wrote, she was with it. Of course, she didn't know they were going to murder her, but she was definitely with getting high and sleeping with them and stuff. And that's another reason why they keep they're acquitting these acquittals on these men, but still, that doesn't give you a right to rape them and kill them. So now it's all together. Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lord. Amen, amen, amen. That televangelist that I'm talking about probably knows Einstein. Because this is a network. You can listen more. Go to Mark Taylor. He talks a lot about this stuff. And again, they do exploit young ones, young boys, young girls, especially. And it's deeper than that. But I'm not, like I said, it's none of my business. But it's deeper than that. Like a lot of these people, I will say, are not really what you all will call human, and they need their blood. That's why they show you a lot of movies with vampires. That shit is real. But it's getting kind of shut down now, right now. And for people to know how to pray and know about this stuff, they could pray. But God just wanted me to know. And you got to remember that man that was spraying his car was right across the street from my neighbor's house. See, my neighbors don't realize how much they're playing with death. They really don't. And I'm going to tell you all again, I stand over coffins. Coffins haven't stood over me yet. I don't fuck with people. I came to this planet to do what I do. All these crazy ass people, these demonized people on this planet. You understand what I'm talking about? Whether they relatives, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't fuck with y'all. If anything, I came with love to help y'all. But if you choose the darkness, you're gonna get the darkness. And if you come after somebody that's come here from God, it's a good chance you won't be living too much longer. These are, and it won't be me. So anybody come to want to talk to me, I'm not threatening nobody. I'm telling you facts of being on this planet of decades and standing over graves of people who kept on thinking somehow they were going to do so. You can't do nothing to me. I'm protected by God. Whatever happens, I live for God. I die for God. None of this shit matters to me. When you see a real soldier, when that soldier jumps out that helicopter and he lands, he's there for one reason and one reason only. He's going to follow his assignment until he dies. He's going to follow his assignment until his commanding officer says, stand down. There'll be no diversion. I just read to y'all Joel chapter 2 about those soldiers. They're going up against that wall. They're going over that wall, and ain't nothing stopping them. They're not going to go to the right. They're not going to go to the left. They're going to follow their mission no matter what. Now, I went to Prophecy Club last night, and guess what he was reading? The same scripture. The same scripture that I just got finished reading. The guy in Prophecy Club was just did a video on it. Now, I'm not saying who's with God. I'm not saying who's not with God. I don't care. I just know where I stand. Dear Lord, we thank you for this revelation you've given us. We ask you to come quickly. We ask you to bring it to fruition, as you have said. Bless those who are in your interest. Cast down those who are not. If they don't want to repent, Lord, cast them down to the pits of hell for all eternity. All these things we ask and pray in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Amen.